would make Phantom Grappler decide to try another suspension? Maybe obsessive compulsion, I don't know. But I might want to tie a suspension that had less work to it. And so here comes a suspension I call Kokomo. What it is it's a piece of 1/8 inch am steel, and it forms the tarp ridge line, and it also functions as the hammock ridge line at the same time. But I've moved the hammock ridge line up from the hammock up higher to where the tarp would be. And so you have one line performing two functions. The rope goes out and forms a Alpine butterfly loop, and then it's in a round turn around the tie out, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. And it comes down here and just forms an eye splice that can be lark's headed. There's the eye splice right there, and I lark's head the eye splice onto the end of the hammock. And so what I do is I've just spliced it up through here where the am steel exits the berry. I've got a double overhand knot, and then I just took the any extra that I had after the double overhand knot and reburied it up to the end there. And so it's sloppy, but there's no stitching in here. I don't have to sew anything, and I don't think that this double overhand knot is going to get pulled through into the berry. I don't think it can even enter the berry. It's just too big, and so it's stuck there. And so you can milk the berry, and it'll hold. And if you forget to milk the berry, the double overhand knot will get pulled down into the end of the berry. It looks like that's what happened here. I probably forgot to milk the berry one time, and it'll hold. All right, now this works almost identical to the Carolina Red suspension, and so I won't be showing a whole lot on that other than just to maybe untie it and then tie it back. I've got a small piece of trash rope that just hung on the end of here onto the lark's head, so I can loosen the lark's head if I ever need to loosen it. All right, this adjusts this way and that. First, I'll show you how I do an Alpine butterfly knot. Just take the rope here, go like that, do a round turn around your fingers, push the rope over this way, push the rope over that way, so your hand's going in between the two cross ropes. Grab the bottom of the round turn and pull it through and stick it in between your fingers here, and then you just push the whole knot off there, and there you have your Alpine butterfly loop. All right, now you don't want it too long because then you interfere with your minimum hang. All right, you got your Alpine butterfly loop. Part of this is going down that way, and then part of it's going down that way, and you haven't done your splice yet. So let's pretend that this tie out is actually this tie out up here, and I'll show you how I put it on there. You just stick the Alpine butterfly loop through the tie out or the pull out, and then you bring it around and you stick it through again, and essentially what you've made is a round turn. Then you put a little stress or tension on it and straighten this Alpine butterfly loop, straighten it out. There you go. The round turn is transferred to the tie out, and it's not really a jamming type of knot. It's just stuck on there, and it's not going. Even if it slid past the knot, it ain't going to go anywhere. But it's not going to go past the knot. Then your tarp stays stuck on there. But if you ever wanted to retrieve your tarp, one thing you could do is you could probably just pull this off, and so you don't have one of those cussing gob knots that your tarp is on there. So what I've done is you stick the Alpine butterfly loop through the tarp pull out, and then you bring it around and you just stick it through again. You stick it through again. I made awful short Alpine butterfly loops, hard to work with, but you probably want a short one so that it doesn't interfere with your minimum hang. And so here's your round turn right here, and so then you just straighten it out, and your tarp's going nowhere, and it's just stuck on there. And then later, if you change your mind on your suspension or want to change your mind like some people are known to do, there you go. And then you just put your lark's head on here like so, and then you run your Kevlar strap right through there, you see. And then you can put your little garbage piece of rope, your little ring that you put on there, put a little ring on there like I did with a little trash piece of rope. And in case the lark's head ever gets jammy, you can, instead of having to grab the lark's head itself, you can just grab this, and it'll loosen your lark's head up so you can slide it, adjust it, what have you. When you make this, this rope that goes across here, you want it to be about the same length as your tarp. If this section is longer than your tarp, and then you hang on it and it gets straightened out, you're going to rip your tarp or rip your tarp tie out. What I do is I attach one end like so, and then I take it up to the other end, and I stretch them both out where they're just about equal. And then I very carefully put an Alpine butterfly loop in there, and I may have to adjust it. Sometimes I can hit it on the first time, but you sure don't want this section here of Amsteel longer than your tarp, because if it is, you're going to tear your tarp or your tarp tie out. The closer they are to being equal, the more likely you are to get a tight tarp when you hang. Now right now this is like this, but when I get in the hammock, this will straighten out if I have the correct angle. I'd hang it a little less than 30-degree angled hang, and that tightens this up. You don't want to get it, you don't want your hang flat. If your hang is too flat, in other words, your line goes straight across and it's horizontal, then you risk snapping your line or pulling the tree over on your head, because the forces become, what do they say, geometrically exponential, or however they describe it. Anyway, you can bust your rope. On here you can see where I've done the same splice right here. I've done an eye splice. There's no lock brummel, there's no stitching. I just run it up. When it exits the berry, I do a double overhand knot, and then I just splice the rest of it in there. If it ever comes out, I can re-splice it. None of this from here to here is ever going to come out because of that knot. It's just stuck there. It's going nowhere. Oh yeah, this is the Kokomo Suspension.